What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the spot where we kick back and react to all kind of different things. Alright, what we got going on today? Well, it's time for another video where we get all the craziest animal facts from our dude at Casual Geographics. This video right here, how a camel's bad habit can put you in a coffin. It's gonna be one of them. But then again, with him, every other video is one of them. Alright, but let's go and get into this. But before we do, if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? It costs you nothing, absolutely free, and it keeps you up on all new videos that get put out on this channel. Not to mention, it gets us one step closer to reaching our goal at hitting 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It's not even that big of a goal, it's just my first little hurdle. So that's all we need to do, just subscribe to the channel, alright? Hit that button. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, how a camel bad habits can put you on a coffin. I can't wait to see what else we get to add on to our list of fears in this world. But let's see what he has for us. Let's go.
Right, I'll just check the camera, yeah? Okay. That's right. Okay, good stuff.
Ooh! Ooh, karma? I'm sorry, in these cases I don't feel sorry for them. They had just put one in the ground. He was coming to get he was coming to get one. He was like, hey, you get one of mine, I get one of yours. Oh man. You can't tell me that they survived that. Unscathed, completely unscathed. No. Somebody went to the hospital.
You know, they say an average of 108.
Wait, hold up. What did you say right there? Before you even get into it, what little caption you put up right there? It's CGI. Oh, okay. I promise the lions. Okay. Oh, and the people are alive too. Okay. It looked pretty real.
You know, they say an average of 183,671 people are added to God's recently deleted folder every day. Some of those people retired from life in some of the most outrageous ways possible. For
Darwin Awards.
example, vending machines and coconuts sell more real estate in cemeteries than the headliner of Jaws. But what if a can of soda was responsible for ending your way of life without you ever even drinking it? Well, Richard Molesky was the owner of the Tula Monkey Sanctuary in Mexico, and yes, a can of carbonated diabetes is why I said was. Chicago-born Molesky was a natural animal lover who worked at the sanctuary for well over a decade, where he would become close with a lot of the animals, but especially a male dromedary camel whose name was never released to the public. And every morning while doing rounds, Richard would greet the hum jockey with a can of Coca-Cola.
Wait. Name never released to the public. They treating him like some kind of celebrity that he's an animal. And as long as y'all keeping him fenced up, he'll be okay. It ain't like he about to go down to the grocery store and then somebody's gonna see him and recognize him. Never release his name to the public. I swear. People be doing some weird stuff sometimes.
And every morning while doing rounds, Richard would greet the hum jockey with a can of Coca-Cola. Like clockwork, Richard would show up and the camel would enjoy his favorite soft drink. Well, one day Molesky didn't have it, and from the way the camel reacted, you would think we were talking about a different kind of Coke. The camel proceeded to maul him and even sat on him, which likely suffocated him. It took a rope tied to a pickup truck to pull the steroid llama off of him, but as you can guess, by the time they did, he was... well, a was. Of course, we'll never know exactly what went down because it was between someone who can't talk and someone who won't. But there's a good chance a Coca-Coked out camel canned a man over some sugar water. And I believe it because camels 100% beyond that kind of timing.
Damn, did you just rip her whole hair out of her head like that? Left her with a bald spot? I was about to comment on the whole getting killed over a Coke. A can of Coke, a bottle of Coke. And I see that, I'm like, camels are ruthless, man. You should have made sure he did that to himself though. You started a habit with something like that. You can't mess up. He was sitting there waiting on you. You didn't show up. He was like, you thought you were friends. No.
water. And I believe it because camels 100% be on that kind of timing. Like they're chill 90% of the time, it's just that 10% where someone ends the day on a newspaper. Like one time in Rajasthan, India, a man was entertaining guests in his home when he realized he parked his camel outside in a brutal 110-degree heat. That's 43 degrees Celsius for the rest of the world. Well, apparently 6 hours of sun only breeds homicidal intent because as the man tried to untie the camel suplexed him and slammed him into the ground. The camel then proceeded to divorce the man's head from his body.
Did you see that? Yo, he grabbed him by his head and slung him. Look at that. How did he I'm like, how did he survive that? You know, his neck, shoulders, back of the head, everything was in pain for days after that one. Oh,
6 hours
man.
of sun only breeds homicidal intent because as the man tried to untie the camel suplexed him and slammed him into the ground. The camel then proceeded to divorce the man's head from his body using his teeth. It took about 25 people and several hours just to get the camel to stop ravaging his owner's corpse. That's why you don't beef.
And that wasn't even the video we saw. He's telling one story, but I know that's not the same video. You can't show the same video. Like I said, he proceeded to take him out. And even in that video, I'm like, ooh, jeez. We're just 2 minutes in on this.
Several hours just to get the camel to stop ravaging his owner's corpse. That's why you don't beef with something that chews on cactuses like candy. Because some animals are very much capable of seeking revenge, and camels are very much on that list. Which shouldn't really be a surprise since high intelligence means some animals have the capacity to experience every human emotion. Which includes putting the dick in vindictive. Even something...
Yeah, that's true. With the heightened intelligence, they're able to feel, well, I wouldn't say feel. I feel like most creatures can feel all the emotions, but they're better at expressing it and communicating it to us in one way or another, making it more recognizable. And it makes you wonder, it's like, should we be calling it human emotion if these emotions can be so easily felt by any other animal with an intelligence level of a 4-year-old and up? I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should be just calling them emotions or animal emotions. Who knows?
Something like an ant can have as much of a revenge arc as a human. Kidnapping and slavery aren't foreign concepts to ants, as some species will regularly invade the nests of others, slaughter the workers, and abduct the larvae of the enemy. These captive ants are forced to bring food to their masters, care for the brood, and even defend the nest of the very ants that kidnapped them. Well, in many cases, these slave ants grow up and proceed to destroy as many of the colony's babies as possible. Pretty much they Django a daycare's worth of the pupae of the ants that's
Django. Oh, that was great. That was great. But see, even ants, it's like they look like nothing just, you know, from our perspective on a daily basis. But when you zoom in, you see that there's a lot of similarities there.
These slave ants grow up and proceed to destroy as many of the colony's babies as possible. Pretty much they Django a daycare's worth of the pupae of the ants that stole them. In some cases, up to 2/3 of the colony were relieved from life by the former slave ants. It's like I've always said, if ants had nukes, they'd end the entire world in a weekend. And if they were human-sized, our president would have 6 legs. And honestly, ant society is just a video of its own. We are talking about an animal that has a species that'll turn itself into a tactical just to stop the ops from succeeding. Ant society is something out of a simulation. And with a game like the Ants Underground Kingdom,
I should have known he was going into the whole ant thing with the ad. He's done a couple of these. All right, skip that.
ants don't play about theirs. Lots of animals don't. There's a lot of animals capable of premeditating and executing.
El arroz Mahatma de siempre, también disponible en bolsitas ready to heat. Unfollow la receta con arroz Mahatma.
Imagine a full-body workout without plates or dumbbells.
Acts of revenge. Like you probably already know that crows can remember faces and carry grudges for up to and sometimes over 5 years. But they'll also pass down their prejudices to their children, so you could really catch a feathery fade over something you did to his crow father. The flip side is that crows also remember those who did right by them. So if I ever happen to get arrested, it'll likely be for using Wendy's fries to weaponize crows. But I'd advise you not to underestimate the carnage that comes with beefing with the Black Air Force of the sky. Once upon a time, a man named Shiva Kawat attempted to save a baby bird he found near his home. Despite his best efforts, the chick didn't make it. And even though his intentions were good, all the neighboring crows saw was a past tense baby crow in his hands, and that's when violence was selected. For the next 3 years, he'd get air jumped every time he left his house by a homicide of crows. Like to the point where he has scars and has to travel with a stick to protect himself against the aerial onslaught. So basically, if he would have let that baby crow expire, his quality of life would probably be higher. Expiration of life is...
And ain't that something? That a lesson for animal lovers. Sometimes just leave it be. Communication may not go as smoothly as you want. You think they're intelligent, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna perceive what you think that what you're trying to convey. You know? He tried to help the bird out, and they all took it like a threat because they thought they just saw dead bird in human hands. They thought he did it. He over here taking the blame for something that happened, something either another animal or just natural occurrence. You see a bird half dead, just leave it there. Moral of the story
is the only conclusion when you beef with a buffalo. I'm gonna keep this brief because I've talked about them before, but basically the Cape Buffalo is a 1,200-pound John Wick. Not only will injured buffalo literally die trying to drag you down with him, just like crows, the Cape Buffalo will ride for theirs. In 2020, trophy hunter Claude Clayhans took down a massive male Cape Buffalo. But as he and his crew started loading the soul-evacuated buffalo onto his truck, another buffalo from the same herd pulled up and gored him, in the groin no less, which severed his femoral artery and sealed his fate. There have been reports of these trench cows chasing...
Just the mental image of that. Ow. Whew. Okay, I'm good.
No less, which severed his femoral artery and sealed his fate. There have been reports of these trench cows chasing hunters into trees and then camping under the trees just waiting to cut them from Earth's roster. And like I said, it's not just humans getting hunted. Since Cape Buffalo have been known to Uno reverse lions by waiting for the adults to go off on hunts just so they can turn the unsupervised lion cubs into wet spots. If elephants don't forget, then the Cape Menace doesn't forgive. And you'd be surprised at just how many animals are smart enough to pay you what you're owed. Like, I bet you weren't expecting octopus to be in a video like this. Well, roll the tape.
I expect it. I know very well how intelligent octopus and squid both are. Just terrifyingly smart.
It turns out octopus and some fish will work together to hunt.
Oh, that was too funny.
In a video like this. Well, roll the tape. It turns out octopus and some fish will work together to hunt, and the Squidwards of the sea will occasionally uppercut their co-workers to keep them from cheating them out of food. It's also believed that the octopi that have been exploited in the past are more trigger happy with their tentacles. Of course, there's also a
trigger happy with their tentacles, slapping you around so you don't mess around with the food. They operating like my bosses over here under the water. Hey, you been eating extra food? You been eating extra food? Huh? Like the fish like, nah, I ain't been... Oh my god.
good chance that octopi might Tyson fish purely out of spite, but punishing someone for someone else's crime technically still counts as revenge. Also, cephalopods can be just as spiteful with each other. Like here, where a female octopus got tired of a male trying to mate with her, so she proceeded to throw silt on his face. And octopus are more than smart enough to aim their malice at people. As researchers will tell you, sometimes octopus will purposely take aim and squirt ink at the very...
Yep, you got him. I was about to try and catch that.
At people. As researchers will tell you, sometimes octopus will purposely take aim and squirt ink at the very...
That surprised me seeing that. In his face, he's just like, why me? Why me? He's like, I wasn't even the one with the net.
Scientists studying them. Not only that, but they'll often have specific people that they like to pick on. One octopus in an aquarium in Dorset, England, got into the habit of super soaking anyone who would walk past his tank. Another octopus in a Santa Monica Pier aquarium flooded the place after she disassembled a valve in her tank, sending 200 gallons of water rushing onto the exhibit and office floors. And Otto the octopus flashed his middle finger to humanity when he squirted water on a nearby spotlight, short-circuiting the entire aquarium's electrical system. Workers would fix it in the morning, but since Otto would do it at night when no one was around, it took a while for him to be found out. And of course, there was that time a YouTuber tried to live stream herself eating an octopus, but the only thing he fed her was an L. So yeah, octopus have the intelligence.
I remember that one. I remember that one. The whole video, that was That was hilarious. I'm not gonna. I feel sorry for her, but at the same time, in the moment, you couldn't help but to laugh. If you say you didn't laugh if you saw this originally, you're lying. You're lying because it was trending for a minute. Oh, I just hope that her face recovered from that because I know that had to be painful. Left some bruises.
But at least with them, the worst case is property damage or a suction cup to the face. Things get a lot worse when you piss off the next animal. Because tigers are by far the most vengeful animals on the planet. Like, the lengths they'll go to get even is what movies are written about. Like in 1997 when poacher Vladimir Markov shot a tiger and then stole part of its kill. His mistake was leaving the tiger with a pulse. That tiger would get him back, but it wasn't in the heat of passion like the camel. Nah, this John was premeditated. The tiger would stake out Markov's cabin and destroy anything that had the hunter's scent on it. About a day or two later, Markov would return to his cabin where he would be ambushed by the same big cat. That story ended around the same time Markov did, after he was dragged into the bushes and never came out. In another story, a poacher named Baby got put in the dirt by a male tiger in March of 2016. Why is that date important? Well, only a month before, he had murked the female tiger in the same area, leading many to believe that the tiger that packed him up was actually the mate of the cat he had killed. And if you need more proof that a tiger taking it personal leads to cuts on the census, the Tigress of Champawat literally subtracted 436 people after one hunter severely injured her. But don't think these stories only happen in Asia.
Yeah, tigers are like that. And you know what's funny? Like, tigers tend to have this thing where they don't run in packs, but they still have each other's back. Just like you said, that one, he got revenge for his mate and everything. But had the poacher, whoever never shot the mate, after they mated and she had babies, he would go about his business. However, they show reports of like tigers, male tigers and everything, even though they're not with them 24/7, they'll go out, hunt food, and bring it back for the kids to be able to eat and stuff, and then still go about their business. It's like they're still there, but they're just loners. So then there's also reports of seeing multiple tigers getting together for a hunt, helping each other hunt, and then once it's over again, they just go about their business and leave each other alone. It's kind of interesting, very interesting, but still let you know that don't mess with them because just like you said, they watch each other's backs.
On Christmas Day 2007 in the San Francisco Zoo, 3 men effed around and 2 found out. As for the third, well, you can't get a life lesson if you don't have a life. The 3 men had decided to taunt Tatiana, a 400-pound female Siberian tiger. Well, they learned 2 things that day. One is that a motivated tiger can jump well over 12 feet. And 2, the 12.5-foot moat wall wasn't to keep the tiger in, but to keep people out. Because apparently out was always an option for Tatiana, who Super Mario jumped out of the enclosure and put the beats on all 3 men, maiming 2 of them and turning the third into a chalk outline. So yeah, a wild tiger might be the last animal you want to find out with in India, but a close second might...
So the pit wasn't deep enough, she just leaped out. See? That's why I like the zoos out here. The pits are so deep, you know, there's no chance. Like, don't be messing around thinking, okay, that looks like, no. You wanna overshoot. You want it to be a deep pit. For real.
Be monkeys. Especially since monkeys and dogs have seemingly gone to war against each other. War is debatable because allegedly the monkeys massacred the dogs. According to residents, some monkeys even took to snatching puppies, carrying them up to a roof, and then letting gravity catch the body. And if you believe this story, then you believe that this all started after a pack of stray dogs mauled a baby monkey and the monkey mafia took it very personal. But we actually don't know for sure what caused this mass puppy homicide. Primates will often feed on the ticks living on animals of different species. So it's possible the monkeys weren't trying to get revenge, but were only after the ticks on the dog's fur. But there's also a chance that Cloudy with a Chance of Puppy was 100% intentional, especially since that seems to be a signature move for them. Earlier this year in India, a troop...
Yeah, I would say that's intentional because they're not stupid. In like both in wild and observation, you see the intelligence level of different monkeys, and they know how to be gentle when they want to be gentle. When they want to be gentle, keywords. So yeah, that was intentional. That wasn't a oops or a mistake. No, They weren't after no ticks. They were after they were after something else. They were after either revenge, gratification, something. Whatever it was, whatever those dogs did that pissed them off, you know?
Earlier this year in India, a troop of monkeys jumped a family and snatched their 4-month-old son, who they proceeded to throw off a 3-story building. In a separate attack, monkeys broke into a home and dragged away a 2-month-old who had been sleeping next to his grandfather. The same monkeys ended up drowning him in a water tank. Yeah, monkeys can be malicious when they want to be, but anyone in Japan will tell you that. Cause right now, a Japanese city is currently under—
Yo, did the parents just like not do anything? Did you see that? They didn't even try it. The baby just got drug off. Who was recording that?
Monkeys can be malicious when they want to be, but anyone in Japan will tell you.
Look, the camera is not pan. The camera didn't pan away. They're just not trying. It'd be different if the camera was panning away and maybe they just weren't in the shot, but it didn't pan away in that moment. They just did not try to save the baby.
That, because right now,
What? Not even an attempt? Come on, that's foul. That's foul. Monkey attacking people in Japan. See, getting wild. You're making too many Planet of the Apes movies. We're giving them ideas.
want to be, but anyone in Japan will tell you that. Because right now, a Japanese city is currently under attack by a gang of Japanese macaques. Since July, nearly 60 people have been attacked and injured in the city of Yamaguchi, and the monkeys tend to go after babies, small children, and the elderly, you know, the light work of the population. And the thing is, the traps they set aren't working because the monkeys don't seem to be after food.
Yeah, that's just them though. In the wild, that's what they do. They pick off the stragglers. If you catch you by yourself, or they say you're the weak one, or they notice that, you know, don't be sick, and they notice that you're sick, they'll go straight for you. If you're too old, if they see a weakness, they go for that. They ain't gonna go for the big, strong one in the group. They ain't gonna go for the leader of the group. They're gonna go for the stragglers. That's how they operate. So that makes perfect sense. And that's they do in the wild, they're gonna do it here.
They're just doing it. And yeah, while this could be a coincidence, there's also a good chance this is revenge. See, monkeys and really primates in general have a sense of fairness and will lash out when they feel like they've been wronged. In experiments with capuchin monkeys, scientists found that when given unequal portions of food, the monkeys would seem to target and punish the individual that got the unfair share. It actually makes sense for a social animal to actively discourage inequity in the group. But when a monkey feels cheated, it becomes a much more dangerous monkey. In another experiment, one capuchin was given a grape while another was given a cucumber. Despite previously being happy with the cucumber, the monkey seemed to get offended when he saw his peer get a grape and refused to take the cucumber. He even started to become aggressive with his handlers, so yeah, primates don't like feeling slighted. If you don't believe me, jealousy and a birthday—
It's like, how dare you give him a grape? You ain't give me no grape. Where my grape at? Oh, bring that back. See how he's over there flipping out?
and a cucumber. Despite previously being happy with the cucumber, the monkey seemed to get offended when he saw his peer get a grape and refused to take the cucumber. He even started to become aggressive with his handlers, so yeah, primates don't like feeling slighted. If you don't believe me, jealousy and a birthday cake got this man mutilated by a pair of chimps. So I can't tell you exactly what started the monkey war in Japan, but I can tell you they probably have a reason. Speaking of reason, yeah, I kinda had to talk about that. So you probably know the story.
Kinda had to talk about that. Oh, this story. We've come across this story so much since it happened over this year. Let's just get into it. Oh man.
But recap. An elephant traveled over 100 miles from a sanctuary and trampled a 70-year-old woman collecting water, only for that same elephant to show up to her funeral and further desecrate her corpse, and this time in front of her entire grieving family. Now I know I say this a lot on this channel, it's become one of my popular phrases, but this time someone literally got turned into a hashtag. Now a lot of people have claimed that this woman was involved in poaching and this was just the elephant
literally into a hashtag. Oh.
This woman was involved in poaching and this was just the elephant playing equalizer. I don't want to say that because we don't know for sure, and there's a good chance the woman was just at a worse place at an even worse time for the elephant to show up and turn her into a trend. But here's what we do know. Asian elephants often come into close contact with people, especially farmers, and conflicts often get them injured or put on a shirt. We know Asian elephants often get exploited for logging, entertainment, and poaching, so they have a reason to hate anything human. And we know an elephant doesn't forget. And it wasn't too long ago when an elephant in Thailand ripped a grown man in half and stood over the soul evacuated body for hours after that same man forced him to haul logs in the intense heat. So we know elephants ain't quick to forgive either. So with this story, we'll never know for sure if there was cause or coincidence, but let me put it this way. 100 miles and a guest appearance at a funeral is one hell of a coincidence. But that's gonna do it for this video.
Yeah, one hell of a coincidence. Like you said, we don't have proof, so you can't. I like, just like him, I'm not gonna say that. Oh yeah, she was with the. No, I'm not conspiracy theorist kind of crap and everything. But what we can say is that there was something. We'll never know. There were no witnesses, no cameras, no records, no nothing. We'll never know. But there was something that she did that pissed that elephant off. That's one thing that we can say for sure. Because, yeah, otherwise, that is one hell of a coincidence.
For more consistent content, be sure to follow my TikTok and Instagram. I try to post daily on both. And to watch videos before I post them, kindly consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Also be sure to check out my book, 100 Animals That Can Effing End You. The title kind of speaks for itself. But other than that, drink water, hug your mother, and you know what? Actually, your father too. He might not say it, but he'll appreciate it. Don't cross an elephant, because he might just traumatize your entire family. And I'll see you in the next one.
Oh man, another good one. I really enjoyed that one. A few more fears to add to your list. Camels are moody, and they just might snatch you up by your head and just flip you around. Oh, that out of everything I see in here, most of the stuff I was aware of, but the camel thing and that footage, that and the monkey dragging the baby away with the people just sitting right there, not even attempting to save it. Like, come on now, how y'all just gonna let the baby get snatched up like that? Crazy world, man. Crazy world. All right, y'all. Y'all know what to do. Go down in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this one. Let me know what you would like to see me react to next. Hit that like button before you go. Share this video with everyone you know. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. All right? So, till next time, take care of yourselves. And I'm out of here.